What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. I got a quick video for you guys tonight, okay? So apparently, Xbox and PlayStation are now both wanting to make handheld consoles for us, right? So Xbox, we knew that they've been wanting to make handheld consoles for us. Now apparently, PlayStation wants to do another handheld console. I say another one because they do have the PlayStation Portal, which can count as a handheld console, okay? Now as I think about this, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm biased. I like handheld consoles. I like being able to play on the go, and I have a few of the handheld consoles that are on the market right now we have inside the household. Now, they're not all mine. Some of them belong to the kids, right? But I bought it for them. I've used them, and I actually enjoy them. So before what we go through what I think we should want in a handheld, I'm going to say this. I'm about to show you a whole bunch of different handhelds and understand that every single one of them, there's a compromise to them. None of them are 100% perfect. Now, there's people out there that after I make this video, they're going to say that handheld is perfect for me, and that's perfectly fine. If the handheld that I talk about is perfect for you, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm telling you is, out of experiencing all these handhelds, I can't tell you that there's one handheld that's just perfect. So because of that, I am intrigued to see what PlayStation may come up with or what Xbox may come up with, because the perfect handheld still doesn't exist, or the best handheld experience so far doesn't exist. With the caveat that I haven't tried every single handheld out there. So, for instance, I don't have a MSI Claw. I'll tell you that right off the bat, but I don't think that one has gotten good reviews. And unfortunately, I don't have a Steam Deck either, which is probably the main handheld that I am missing, because that's the one that, besides the Nintendo Switch, the one that started this handheld craze off. And I don't have one of the more expensive handhelds, the Ioneo Airs and all that other stuff, or the player of one X player, stuff like that, right? So there's a few handhelds out there that I don't have, that maybe if I had them, I would feel differently. Maybe the Steam Deck would be the perfect handheld, but I could tell you right now, I don't believe so, because of XCloud. Because of Game Pass not being able to play on it right off the bat without having to do anything differently to it. Anyways, let's get to the point, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and rate the handhelds that I have currently. Please, this is not a console war video. This is none of that. This is just my opinion as to where these handhelds fit according to the way that we use them and the way that we play them. Right. So, not saying that it's bad, and they do what they're supposed to do. Right. So the first one. This one's already going to be controversial, because I don't even know if you would consider this a handheld, but it does turn your phone into a handheld. So this here is the Backbone. This is the Backbone controller. And one of my favorite things about this controller is that you typically are going to have the device that this connects to with you all the time. So your phone is pretty much with you all the time. So as long as you're willing to carry this as well, it's pretty small. You can put it in a hoodie pocket, in a coat pocket. You can put it in a backpack real easily, and you don't have to worry about protecting the screen, because you can have your phone, right? The only thing downfall to this is that if you are going to use it with your phone, my phone doesn't have a case. I don't put a case on my phone, so I don't have a problem with it. But typically, most people have cases on the phone. It's not going to work with a case on the phone. But besides that, this does the job of being able to remote play. You can go ahead and play Android games on your phone. You could go ahead and with some different apps, do even PlayStation remote play as well. So this is a handheld option, but this to me would be, out of all the ones that I have, the one of the worst ones that I have. Okay, then after this one, the second worst handheld that we currently have in the household is this right here, which is the PlayStation Portal. Okay. Now, the reason I'm saying that this is one of the worst handhelds that we have in the household right now is simply because of its versatility. it's really not there. They just released an update where you could go ahead and play XCloud games on it. Not XCloud games, I'm sorry. That you could play PlayStation Cloud games on it without the need of to having it connected to a PS5. But the reality is that this cannot work. Besides that update, this wasn't working on its own. And then you need a PlayStation Premium subscription for that to work, okay? But for what it's supposed to do so far, I got this for Juju for his birthday. I'll be honest with you, this is doing it incredibly well. I'm gonna make a review of this right here of the PlayStation Portal because for what it's supposed to do, it's working. Now, I did get this at a discount. Shout out to my boy IsoMotion Gaming. I only paid $100 for this because IsoMotion Gaming dropped the other $100 to buy this for Juju for his birthday. So Juju just turned 10, and we got him a PlayStation Portal. And what that allows Juju to do is he can go ahead and play PlayStation regardless of who's using the TV. So if I'm using the TV because I'm playing on PC or we're watching a movie or something, and then his PlayStation, the other PlayStation is connected to the monitor, but let's say my other son is using that PlayStation, so we have two PlayStations in the house. Juju, and I didn't even know this. I didn't know people. I didn't see anybody talking about this. Juju can connect to either PlayStation on his account and play with the portal. So both PlayStations are connected to one portal, and he can jump from one PlayStation to the other one. I do not see a scenario ever where both PlayStations are going to be used. So essentially, he'll always be able to play PlayStation whenever he wants. So as far as that's concerned, this is doing a phenomenal job with that. But with all the handhelds that I have, this will be my second worst, simply because of the versatility that's really not there. Juju took it out of the house today, and it didn't work for him. He tried to connect it with his phone hotspot, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work well. Okay. After that one, the third worst, right? So the Backbone is definitely the worst handheld that I have. PlayStation Portal is the second worst handheld that I have. The third worst is going to be this right here, which is a GCloud. Now, the reason why, to me, the GCloud, as of right now, is better than the PlayStation Portal is because technically you could do with the GCloud what the PlayStation Portal does. Obviously, you got to do some background work to get it to work, but this device doesn't have to connect to something else. Now, it can do remote play with Xbox seamlessly, right? So you can actually do a remote play with Xbox. Then it's got cloud that you can do xCloud, right? But it's not just stuck to xCloud. You can also use what's it called? GeForce Now. You can also download games natively to it as well and play Android games on it. So to me, this is better than the PlayStation Portal, just for that simple fact. They're both technically streaming devices. You're not playing a game automatically from the PlayStation Portal, but as for this, you can download some Android games, some light Android games, and actually play it natively. So the GCloud, to me, is better than the PlayStation Portal as of right now. So there we got that one, right? But again, you're still making sacrifices, right? After that, okay, the next handheld console that I would put as, I hate even saying it, worse, because I don't want to talk about worse anymore, but it's definitely not it's definitely not the best one that I have, but it's my favorite one, if that makes sense. It's not the best one that I have, because I got to be honest, but it's my favorite one, and that would be the Asus Rog Ally. This is the Z1 Extreme version, okay? I don't have an Ally X. That's another one that I don't have, okay? So this is the Z1 Extreme version, and I use this so much, it's ridiculous. Now, the reason this is not at the top is because, yes, even though this is a handheld, when it comes to battery life, so far, everything else that I have shown you destroys this in battery life. That goes from the Backbone to the PlayStation Portal to the GCloud. All those things destroy this in battery life. Even if I was to use this as strictly streaming, it would still not last as long as those other devices, which is weird to me. I know, which is weird to me. However, this is a handheld PC to the fullest, where it is a complete gaming system on its own, doesn't need anything else, doesn't even need internet. Like, once you have something downloaded out here, if you have it in offline mode, you're good to go. The only thing is that you're most likely going to need to have a charger with you. So as far as it being a true handheld, I mean, I guess so it is, okay? The other thing you could do is you can obviously connect this to the TV as well, which that gives you a whole different type of versatility, which you can also do with the GCloud too. You can also connect that to the TV as well, okay? All right, now, the system that I would put above this now would be this one here. This one is not mine, but this is belongs to my other son. And I know this is going to be a little controversial, but I just got to, again, I'm just being objective with it. This here, the Lenovo Legion Go. So the reason I would put the Lenovo Legion Go over the Asus Rog Ally is, in our experience, in our household, the battery life of the Lenovo Legion Go is a little bit better. Now it makes sense because it's a little bit bigger, okay? The joysticks come off, okay, which that's versatility. It comes with a kickstand automatically, right? It came with a case, and it could do everything the Asus Rog Ally can do, except it's got a bigger screen, more pixel. And if you want to use this as a separate device, like as a tablet to watch or whatever, this is it, okay? The downfall with this is that you can argue how portable this is. This is a pretty big device, right? But when you're playing on this thing, you are immersed. If you're playing on this thing and you got your headphones on, man, you are so immersed. It's great. The only reason for me, my Ally is my favorite instead of this, and I wouldn't, pick one up or trade this over, is just because I take my Ally everywhere, and to have to take this around is just a little bit too bulky. All right. Now, the next two that I'm going to show you are, regardless of what, I don't care what the opinion of what anybody says, these are definitely the goated handheld consoles out there. Again, with the caveat that I don't have a Steam Deck to compare it to. But first, I'm going to go with this right here, which is, man, you cannot go wrong with this. When it comes to handheld gaming, look at that. The Nintendo Switch Lite. It is literally light. You can literally put it in your pocket as is. Great battery life. Playing games natively. I mean, this is perfect. The only bad thing you could say about this is going to be the ergonomics, right? But this is, man, it's almost perfect. If this one had an OLED screen, if they made a Nintendo Switch Lite with an OLED screen, man, it would be literally almost perfect. And then if it was able to play a bigger selection of games, like the other games that could be played on every other device, essentially, you know what I mean? That would be phenomenal. And the last, but certainly not least, which is the best handheld that I have. Again, it's not my favorite, because my favorite is the Asus Rog Ally. But I can admit that this is the best handheld that I have, that I own. It's not even a question. It's this bad boy right here, the Nintendo Switch OLED. This is the best handheld that I have. It can connect to the TV. There's no compromise in the library games that you're playing, whether you're playing on TV or you're playing on this. The Joy-Cons come off. The battery life is tremendous. It's portable. It's immersive. The only thing is the ergonomics is what you could complain about, but Nintendo knocked it out of the park with this. And this is where now, after recapping, if you want to recap everything again, right? Backbone, this is child's play. This is if you're not really serious in gaming, okay? So that was the worst one. The PlayStation Portal, I'm telling you right now, it's phenomenal so far. We've only had it for one day, but no complaints here. Juju's loving it. If you got a PlayStation, this is great. And for the scenario that what we're using it for, it is literally working perfect. It's literally working perfect, okay? So it is a perfect PS5 companion. You can't take anything away from that, okay? The GCloud, if you have great internet and you want different options to play on the cloud or whatever, then the GCloud is for you. Battery life is tremendous as well, and you're not tethered to one console, one system, whatever the case may be, right? Then my favorite is the Asus Rog Ally, but the battery life in this thing is horrible, but it's very versatile. You can do a lot of things. Okay. Slightly above the Asus Rog Ally is going to be the Lenovo Legion Go, which is also very versatile. Could do a whole bunch of different things as well. It plays games natively as well. It's as powerful as the Asus Rog Ally. And then obviously the Nintendo Switch Lite, and then the Nintendo Switch OLED. So now these two things here, from the best one that I have, and again just being objective, to my favorite one that I have, Microsoft and Sony need to figure out a way to merge this for their handheld system. And they need to do it before Nintendo does it. And what concerns me a little bit, well, not concerns me a little bit, I think it's good regardless, is that the next Switch is more than likely going to be able to play these Xbox games. Because Microsoft is going to be okay with putting their games on the Switch. And if the next Switch is powerful enough that it could play these Xbox games and is something as good as this, the competition is going to be stiff. So Sony Sony and Xbox both have a chance to improve on all of these designs, whether it's a console with a screen that is at least 1080p, okay, with VRR, okay. The size has to be 7 to 9-inch screen, I would say, between there, right? The controls has to be ergonomically bound, have to be great ergonomically. The system has to be able to play games on its own, but it also has to be able to stream games as well because everything else streams. I would say the console at this point, the handheld console, has to be able to connect to a dock and be able to play it on the TV. And literally, it would have to combine all of this. So let's make the perfect handheld on all of these, with all of these devices that we have. All right, here we go. Versatility of being able to stream everything and great battery life, GCloud. So we want the battery life of a GCloud, right? Okay, good to go. We want an OLED screen, okay? So Nintendo Switch is OLED screen, okay? We want it to be able to dock like the OLED can dock as well, right? Seamlessly dock, because you can dock the other devices like the Asus ROG Ally and the Lenovo Legion Go, but don't get it twisted. It's not as easy and as seamless as it is to dock the Switch, okay? We want the ergonomics. Out of all these handheld, there's no handheld that's going to beat the ergonomics of this. This is literally a PlayStation 5 controller split in two. It is incredibly comfortable. You're going to be able to hold this forever, okay? You don't have to learn any new controls. It's perfect. The joysticks feel great, all right? And then yeah, it's you literally want to be able to combine all of this, and then you want to be able to play games natively if it have a versatility of being able to play PlayStation games and Xbox games or AAA games and all that other stuff. So literally Xbox and Sony would have to grab all of these ideas, put them together, and let's see who can make the better handheld console. Now, as far as hardware goes, we know, again, being honest, I'm not into this console war thing anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm a PC gamer now. It's weird. Sony makes the better hardware. It's not even a question. Sony makes the better hardware. So, unless the next hardware from Xbox is a PC Xbox hybrid, then they got a chance. Because being able to play Steam games as well is going to open up a plethora of things. But before we even get to what the games are going to be able to play, it's got to be ergonomic, got to feel good in the hand. Great battery life is going to be a handheld. It's got to have a good screen, right? Which each one of these screens is a little bit different. The Lenovo Legion Go screen has 1600p, yeah, which is overkill for that size, but still looks sharp, especially when you use web browsing. The PlayStation Portal screen looks really good. The Asus ROG Ally screen has VRR on it, which is phenomenal. And then the Switch screen is OLED. So, I mean, grab all of that, combine it together, okay? And here's the problem that Sony and Xbox are going to have. Asus is not going to stop making handhelds. Lenovo is not going to stop making handhelds. The competition is only going to continue to get stiff. and it's got to be priced right. That's the other thing. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited regardless, because I think that the more options we have, the better it is. Okay. Nintendo's got to be able to open up their platform to be able to play a lot of these AAA games, because I don't know how much longer people are going to be okay buying a Nintendo system and another system, especially with this crossover that's going on. Right now, with what Microsoft is doing, putting most of their games on PlayStation, or you can see that a lot of their games are going to come to PlayStation. They're putting PlayStation in a position where you might only need to have a PlayStation and you'll be perfectly fine. We'll see. The way Microsoft turns that around is if they make a console slash PC type of handheld, because at that point they will already have PlayStation games on their handheld via Steam, and that would be tremendous, right? So that's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Yes, we do have a lot of handhelds in this household. We are blessed. That's what I will say. God's been good to me and my family, been able to keep me healthy, and I've been able to provide. And I'm very grateful for everything that I have, for sure. So I gotta thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for everything that I got. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. Doc Dog 1985, there's levels to this. We out. Peace.